Robbins here with RX Chiro. Today I wanted to go over a full body foam rolling mobility session for you. And this is something I do whenever I've been traveling. Helps me to kind of unwind some of that tension that builds up from sitting on an airplane or carrying suitcases. Also, I use it if I've been going through like a hard workout cycle and my whole body feels tense and I have a recovery day that I need. Or if I generally just like want some full body flushing and mobility. That's when I use this. So it's like my Saturday routine sometimes. We're going to hit pretty much the whole body. We're going to go through the feet, the calves, the hamstrings, inner and outer thighs, glutes, quads, shins, lower spine, T-spine, pecs, lats, in kind of a systematic fashion. For each section or each body region, usually what I recommend is that you use about an 8 to 10 roll rule. So you're going to roll that section about 8 to 10 times. When you're rolling, sometimes as you're going over the surface of the muscle tissue, you might feel like an extra sensitive point within that muscle belly, or like a little ball of tissue that's knotted up, like a trigger point, like a massage therapist would call it. That is an area where you can add some focus, and that's where you can add some like ischemic pressure and then release. So that's kind of like pumping blood in and out to help push that little trigger point or that hyperactive bundle of muscle tissue into a little bit more smoother, relaxed state. So as you're rolling, if you hit a spot like that, like I said, just kind of pause on it for a minute, let that foam roller feed in, maybe 2 or 3 or 4 breaths in and out, and then roll it a little bit more. You don't want to hold it too long because too much ischemic pressure and too much pressure on that area, you can bruise that. So you don't want it to cut off the blood flow that long. Now, when it comes to rolling, when it comes to foam rolling, we always think of a foam roller, something made out of foam. And when it comes to foam rollers, there's multiple densities. There's the really light density that's kind of squishy. And if you've never foam rolled before, if you have fibromyalgia, if you're really, really painful, if you're tender all over, you need something really like that that's not going to be super dense, because as you roll, that's going to be a little bit kinder to your body. But as the pain in your body goes down, kind of like a diagnostic criteria, you know, if you can use a denser foam roller and there's no pain, then you're probably doing a little bit better as far as your mobility goes. So this one is a mid to higher grade density as far as foam rollers go. I like to kind of use mostly something like this in my upper body, and then in the lower body, I tell you, there's nothing more dense than a PVC pipe. You can get it at Home Depot or Lowe's in the PVC aisle, pre-cut, 4-inch, fantastic. This is what I do my entire lower body with, and it really does a great job. But it is hard, you know, so it doesn't take quite as much like long, hard core pressure. You're not trying to bruise the muscle. You are trying to break up the sliding surfaces and increase some circulation in the muscle tissue itself. So that's really useful. There's a couple other things here. The rumble roller, fantastic, especially for the thoracic spine. I feel like you can actually mobilize and sometimes even adjust your own self with this. And this is my favorite for that area. Dr. Starrett came up with some really great mobility tools. These things are fantastic. As far as top of the line goes, these are probably it. The Supernova here, fantastic ball. It doesn't slide around on you, and you can do pretty much the whole body. If I have one thing that I can take with me anywhere, it's going to be this little doodad right here. What's it called? The Gemini. This thing's fantastic. You can basically release your entire body with this one little thing, and it's small, lightweight. I took it with me camping and backpacking the other day, and it was freaking amazing. I'll go over a little bit of that too. For now, we're going to get started, and we're going to hit the full body session with the foam roller, and we'll talk a little bit about some of these things at the end, okay? So for me, I like to start with a warm-up. Whenever you're going to do a full body foam roll session, you do want to increase the body circulation before you start. So you do like a 5 to 10 minute warm-up. Maybe you just go for a short jog, 400 meters, 800 meters. Maybe you row 400 meters. You do some light jump rope, jumping jacks. Just something that gets your body moving, get some circulation done. I've already done my warm-up, so I'm going to start here. And we're going to start basically from the ground and work our way up. And we're going to go kind of up the back of the body, so feet up the calves, hamstrings, and then we're going to come up kind of to the glutes. Get the outer leg, inner leg, front of the leg, and work down the front, and then we'll go up the spine. For the foot, the plantar fascia area, there's 4 layers of tissue there, and there's a lot that can be done, especially when it comes to treating things like plantar fasciitis. A lot of those respond really, really well to mobilizing that bottom of the foot area. You can use so many different tools. That's one of the things that this really works well for. If you don't have anything, a golf ball works great. A dumbbell weight, basically, what you want to do is you want to get to that plantar fascia area underneath your arch, in between your heel and your forefoot. You're going to put it down on top, and you're just going to roll. And then you can add various amounts of weight. This right now, I'm kind of unweighted, and I can push down with my foot. But you can go all the way to a standing position, and you can push and get even more. Again, about 8 to 10 good rolls. If you feel anything that's painful, stop there and breathe. Okay? So that gets those. You'll want to do each side, rolling it out really, really well. And then we'll move into the calves. So, from here we hit the lower body. I'm going to use a PVC pipe. Feel free to use whatever you can withstand. We're not necessarily saying that you want to experience immense amounts of pain. You want to work within a limit that's not too high as far as pain goes, but breaking down muscle tissue and foam rolling does tend to be a little bit tender, so work within a threshold that you can withstand. When it comes to the legs, if you're rolling both at the same time, you're getting about a mild amount of pressure. If you roll one at a time, you get a little bit more, and then if you stack, you end up getting a lot more. For me, I tend to stack because I like to get a really good roll. For now though, I'm going to show you unstacked. So, calves, start down by the Achilles tendon in the back there, and just a couple of real gentle rolls. The calf muscle's pretty long, so I cut it up into 2. We got the bottom section and then the top section. You want to roll, but you also want to add some cross friction. Cross friction is turning the feet in and out. Good, and then you can come up, hit the top part of the calf. As far as your upper body, okay? If you are like this while you're rolling, it's hard. It's hard on your shoulders and it feels awkward. You want to bring those hands to support you close to your center of gravity under your butt. The closer they are there, it's a lot easier to move. Now, you can keep your butt on the ground and just slide your butt, or you can lift your butt up and roll, whatever you feel comfortable with. So you're rolling those calves. The calves really respond well if you do it with your feet straight, with your feet turned in, and with your feet turned out. So you're going to roll it feet straight, feet turned in, and feet turned out. Okay? Now, as you move up to the top part, there's more muscle tissue there, so it can be a little more tender. For the bottom part, you may find that you don't feel anything until you stack. But at the top part, you might not want to stack. It's up to you. Again, we're just going through a recovery session here for the full body. So again, it's not about generating as much pain as you can. Roll through there. If you want to do one leg, do one leg. Again, if you find any trigger points, stop. Breathe through it a few times. You may want to add a little cross friction massage on top of that. Okay, and then roll it out. Behind the knees. Now here you want to be a little bit careful with your pressure because there's a lot of blood vessels and nerves right behind the knee. What I like to do is using a basic foam roller or such, I set the back of my knee right on top, and then I just turn my feet in and out. There's hardly any pressure at all. But that cross friction really is amazing for what it does to your knees because your hamstring muscles and your calf muscles are basically doing like this crisscross pattern right there, and your popliteus muscle right behind the knee. And that's the master point in acupuncture for back pain. If you can just cause a little bit of relief at that one point, it does a lot for your back, your hamstrings, and your calves all in one go. If there's only one point I can hit for my back, that's what I'm going to do really quick. Okay, so then we move up into the hamstrings. The hamstrings are dense, strong muscles. You can do 2, Okay, and I definitely suggest that you start there and roll them with just like your calves. You want to start with your feet straight, then you want to turn your feet out, and then you want to turn your feet in. Okay, so you get all three. There's 3 hamstring muscles. You can also stack. This is where you're going to get a lot more. Now, you may, this is how I do it, you may like to just cut it up in half, just like you did the calf muscle. So you do the bottom half first, then you do the top half. So it looks like this. The bottom half is going to be here. I'm going to roll the middle part. I'm going to turn it out a little bit, get the outer part, and I'm going to turn it in a little bit, get the inner part. About 8 to 10 rolls in each section. Then I'm going to bring that in really close, and I'm not going to sit all the way on it. I'm going to sit just right before I get to my little sit bones, that attachment point. I'm going to roll there. Again, you can do one leg at a time. And that point really is a good release point. If you sit all day long and your hamstrings are tight, this can help to mobilize them before you do your stretches and before you strengthen. Okay, so that'll hit the hamstrings.